Let's get more analysis on this from Javed Ali. He's an associate professor of practice at the University of Michigan. He joins us live from Ann Arbor. Professor, thank you so much for your time, albeit not under better circumstances. The U.S. is becoming increasingly efficient at quickly investigating incidents like this. I believe, as far as we know, 3 men and a woman previously believed to have been involved in placing improvised explosive devices were not involved. But is the FBI still investigating whether or not the man has connections with terror organizations?
Well, thank you for having me. And as you mentioned, this is what the FBI does very well. And I say that as former senior FBI counterterrorism analyst. In the aftermath of an attack, the FBI will spring to action and use all the different investigative tools and methods to determine who's responsible for committing an attack, what is known about that person, whether dead or alive. In this case, the attacker, Shamsuddin Jabbar, is dead. And then are there other people associated with an attacker, and is there a bigger conspiracy? And that picture has changed back and forth over the past few hours. I myself have given so many interviews, I've probably given different answers on this based on the information that's known at the time. But it at least now seems to suggest that Shamsuddin Jabbar was acting alone, at least with respect to the attack. But there could have been other people around them that may have had knowledge of it. We still don't know answers if there's a connection to an actual connection to ISIS, because he had the ISIS flag in the back of his car or on the pole mast of the car. He may have been inspired at a minimum. Not sure now that he was directed or enabled, but these are all things the FBI is looking at until they can definitively say one way or the other. They have 100% confidence in sort of the outcome of the investigation.
What are your thoughts on the way this is being investigated? The man's name is Shamsuddin Jabbar. The FBI was very quick to say that this is an act of terror and that he worked with other people in planting these IEDs. Do you get the impression that the FBI is very quick to stereotype people based on name or nationality when it comes to incidents like this in the U.S.?
Well, I wouldn't say that. And I say that myself as an American Muslim who worked in a very senior position in the FBI when it came to counterterrorism. So I don't think they were rushing to judgment. I think they were going based on the facts as known. This was a terrible event, a car ramming attack that now has murdered 15 people and injured a couple dozen more. The Shamsuddin Jabbar, irrespective of his name, had an ISIS flag. So again, seems to suggest the ideological inspiration for some kind of extremist jihadist thought. And it remains to be seen how much more information can be recovered about Jabbar's thinking behind the plot, sort of the motivation, how long it took him to become first radicalized and then mobilized in terms of trying to prepare for this attack. So I don't think it was the FBI defaulting to a position just based on Jabbar as a person. It was based on the facts, and the facts clearly seem to suggest this was an act of terrorism, but we don't yet know if Jabbar was acting alone, even though now the needle seems to be pointing more in that direction, or if there were other people around him.
Of course, this is still very early in the investigation. Professor, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.